It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush.
Hello and welcome back to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life. But I'm not painting today. I'm making some watercolor paints and some gouache. Yes, there's a very little difference between watercolor and gouache, but I want to explain how to do that. And so if you want to join me at the desk, I will show you how to make some gouache and save yourself plenty of money in the process. Okay, so before we start, we're going to need some things. It is important we wear a dust mask at all times because of pigment particles in the air. And just to be safe than sorry, we need some rubber gloves. So we need to put them on. Before I do that, we're going to need to get ourselves a little palette knife. We're going to need one of these little paper cups that you can put tomato ketchup in. And we're going to need some of these pill boxes. These are for the paints for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So these are really, really good for putting watercolor paints in that you've made. Or you can go along to eBay or a local art store and buy these little pots. These little things are inexpensive and they carry a little bit of paint which you can carry around with you. You can buy the pre-made stuff like this, but these are very, very expensive ways of buying watercolor paints. If you want to mix some basic colours, then watch this tutorial and I can show you how to do that. The other thing we're going to need is some pure honey, some H2O or water, and some gum arabic. Now you can buy this in granular form or you can buy it pre-made like this. This is bought from Winsor and Newton and it's just basically a sticky substance like honey, but we will be coming on to that shortly. And you're going to need some calcium carbonate or chalk. There we go. Only need a small amount of that. This is available on my website at www.clive5art.co.uk. You're also going to need some pure pigment. There you go. And this is also available on my website. And that's all we're going to do. So I'm going to make some white paint today because I want to send it to my friend Jason. So without further ado, let's crack straight onto that. So I put on my gloves and my mask. So I've worked out that these little pots hold about 6 grams because I put it on the scales like that and I worked that out. So each one of these pots holds about 6 grams. So I'm going to make 6 grams worth of paint for those. You can work out how much these hold. Basically, if you buy these, just put them on the weighing scales, tear your scale up. There you go. Tear your scales up, get a little bit of water and fill it up. And it should tell you how much that holds. It's less than a gram actually. So that was a waste of time. But never mind. You get the idea. Put a couple of them on there and it'll work it out for you. So the mixture we're going to be running on today is a very simple. You're going to need some honey. And I'm going to show you how to mix this in a small quantity first and then we're going to scale it up. So we're going to need about roughly about that much. I don't know how much that is. It's just enough. There you go. Yeah, we don't need a lot. If you're going to thin this down, warm it with put that in some hot water. Get it really, really runny. Get a pipette and put about 3 drops of honey. There you go. So put this in some hot water. Let it get really runny. Use your pipette. Take some of that out and put 3 drops down. That's the easiest way. I'm just winging it with this at the moment. There you go. So I'm going to put that one side. Then we're going to need some H2O. And what I suggest you do is use boiled, cooled water. Because it's not going to go green on you or go mildew. Or if you wanted to, you could put just 1 drop of vinegar in there. There we go. 1 drop of distilled vinegar into your water. And that's going to stop it from going mildew. So always remember that. It acts as an anti-mildew agent. So we need to put 3 drops of water. 1, 2, 3 drops of water. And we get our palette knife and we mix the honey and the water together. There we go. So remember, 3 honey, 3 water. And we can work out a ratio on that and we can scale it up. So we need to mix that a little bit like this. Very, 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 very quickly and easy. I'm just going to get some tissue paper. So we got to go into our gum arabic now. Gum arabic is a natural product. It comes from a tree, in fact, and this has been used for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It was used by the Egyptians, so it's tried and tested anyway. So we need to get some gum arabic, and we need to put 2 drops. That's it. Two drops of gum arabic into our mixture. Put that safe. Put it up there so I don't knock it over, because I've done that before. And we need to mix that together like that. What we're going to do now is we're going to open our pigment up. There we go. We got pigment, pure titanium white pigment. It's very, very fine, so be very, very careful. We need to put a sprinkling of that down like this. This is going to be now watercolor. When we mix this together, it's going to end up, and this is going to be watercolor, not gouache yet. Not gouache. I told you it was a very, very different, very, very fine difference between watercolor and gouache. So if we continue adding our pigment to this, we can get it quite thick. There you go. And all it does is the water, the honey, and the gum arabic bind the pigment particles together and allow them to stick to paper. And the honey basically makes it a little bit more malleable or pliable. So we just get that to the thickness we want. And you can use a maul. This is a glass maul if you want to use a maul, if you're using slightly bigger quantities. But I've already finely ground my pigment up, because at the bottom of this is quite rough, and the bottom of my marble is quite rough. So it allows me to finely grind my pigments. And I do a lot of that just to help the process of paint making, because I make a lot of my own paints now. There we are. We've got a nice watercolor there, and that's going to dry. That will dry in the pot. And what's going to happen is it's going to solidify. It's going to go hard. But as soon as you put water on it, the honey keeps it soft. The gum arabic acts as a binding agent, and your pigment then is allowed to flow freely over your painting area on paper. So that's watercolor. Now you can mix any pigment in the same way, like that. So you can buy different color pigments. I've got several on the website you can purchase if you want to. Now the only way we can turn that into gum arabic is very simple. Not gum arabic, into gouache. Got gum arabic on the brain tonight. Is use some chalk. Chalk. So we add a little bit of chalk to our mixture. This is going to dry it up a little bit. That'll be enough. Just a touch. Just a touch. That's going to make it very opaque and chalk-like. Very opaque. And that's the difference between watercolor and gouache. And there's a difference. And there's a lot of money-saving potential there. Just think how much money you can save by making your own gouaches. Now, if you want to go along to the art store and buy some rose madder or something like that, or something you can't mix, then go and buy some by all means. But white, you're going to use 3 or 4 times as amount of white as you would any other colour. So even if you bought some titanium white and made your own white, you would save yourself an absolute fortune in the long run. And all we need to do with this then is to scoop it up and put it in our little pot like this. There you go. That little amount. So that's 3 drops of honey, 3 drops of gum arabic, or 2 drops of gum arabic and 3 drops of water. I'll just reiterate because I made a mistake. In that little pot, that takes 3 honey, 3 water, and 2 gum arabic, and that's going to make you a little pot of white paint there. And if you bought that in the shop, it would cost you about £4, I would imagine. So you've saved yourself a lot of money in the long term. So I'm just going to put that down there. We can fill these up with 6 grams of paint, which I've already done one as a tester just to make sure that I have got it right. And as you can see, it's quite hard. And And all you need to do, once it's dry, allow it to dry, is you add a little bit of water into there, like this, and all of a sudden you've got some lovely gouache paint that you can use on your next project. So there's a difference between watercolors and gouache, and how you can save yourself loads of money in the studio by just buying 1 or 2 ingredients. So there we are, a quite easy way to actually save yourself some money. Make some watercolor paints or make some gouache. As you see, it's a very simple process with just a few simple ingredients. Now, if you like what you've seen today, please pop along to the website www.clive5art.co.uk, where you can find the materials that you will need. Also, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. And I upload every Monday at 7:30, and occasionally, sometimes on a Thursday, where I will put videos in like this. So we've got a world of paint behind us. With a world of paint to paint. We've got portraits and landscapes and all these lovely things to actually learn and paint away that stress of everyday life with myself, Clive Art, in the studio in Wales. So until the next time, bye.